The three-part lesson is a framework that supports a problem-solving approach to the teaching of mathematics. Different names are used to title the parts, but the purpose of each remains consistent. Part 1, Before, may also be called Minds On, or Getting Started, or Activation. This part of the lesson is designed so the students revisit a concept, procedure, or strategy that is related to the lesson's learning goal. Activation cognitively prepares students for the lesson problem and evokes prior knowledge, skill, and strategies. In the second part of the lesson, During, also named Working on It or Action, students actively and collaboratively solve a problem, recording the mathematical thinking that they have used to develop their solutions. Part 3, or the After portion, is the consolidation and practice phase of the three-part lesson. The teacher strategically coordinates student sharing of their work, highlighting and summarizing with students the mathematics evident in the solutions. This part of the lesson may also be termed Consolidation, Highlights and Summary, Practice, or Consolidation and Debrief.
My teaching has changed tremendously because I see the value of teaching through problem solving. I see the value in the three-point lesson of activating prior knowledge, where kids are just asked at the beginning of a lesson to think of what they know. So they already come a little bit empowered into what we're going to do. Then what happens is we work together in groups and they talk and they discuss whatever the mathematics is, and that dialogue that occurs within the classroom allows everybody to be involved and to discuss and to talk. And then we consolidate at the end, where we figure out what we know and then what we need to know for the next day or for the days to come, or what we need to work on as a class. Because of it, kids are persevering in my classroom, kids are being more confident, kids are questioning themselves, their own learning, other people's learning, and because of that, we've created a sense of learners together, and we've created kids who are mathematicians.
When teachers begin to teach in mathematics and they begin to ground their mathematics instruction in problem-based instruction, they begin to use structures such as the three-part lesson. Probably the differences that I notice for the most part are the way that kids are engaged in the mathematics and the kinds of dialogue that happen. And there are a number of different ways I can look at that. The kinds of questions children are being asked begins to differ. Who is asking the question begins to change. It becomes not just a teacher asking a child a question, but rather students and children themselves actually having a dialogue between each other. The actual moves that a teacher makes become based very much on what the kids are doing. So in other words, something is introduced to the children, they are engaged in a mathematical activity. The teacher then builds on what the children have done during that activity to promote the instruction.
Through problem solving, I think what has happened is kids in my class, everyone can access the mathematics at their own entry points. So they come into class, they're part of a culture or a community of learners instead of being isolated. And I think because of that, we have now kids in our classroom who communicate and who are participants in dialogue at all levels.